Hey guys, Cassandra here with day 4 of the Wounded Narrator series. I'm really excited. Because I want to share with you guys this. Last night I was watching this documentary on Netflix. It's called Heal. It's about the power of the mind and how we can literally heal ourselves. Because majority of our illnesses or diseases are literally dis-ease in the body. So there are emotions and energies trapped in the body that eventually become and manifest into these physical ailments, diseases, cancer, autoimmune diseases, all these things. But the thing I took from, there were a lot of things I took from it. For one of the things I want to talk about today was there was this woman who was getting this energy healing. And she made this statement that I don't know who I am without this illness, without this sickness. So it was almost like she was not letting herself being open to healing because she was scared of the outcome. She didn't know who she was on the other side. She had a lot of fear. And a lot of us have this fear when it comes to aligning with who we really are and getting away from looking at our life in a way and understanding that these beliefs that we have are just stories that are held from the past and experiences that are just no longer active, and yet we keep them active in our bodies. And we've done these things so long and so habitually that it becomes what we call our personality. So there are some things that we say, well, this is just who I am. And when it comes to the surrender process, holding on to things like that typically comes from a fear. For me, like I can be really stubborn, as I've mentioned before, and there are certain things that I'm like, I have a hard time letting go of it because I have the same thought. Well, this has served me for so long that who am I without it? What do I do now? How do I respond to certain things? Like, this is just how I've always been. And we get attached to these things. So with coming up through the surrender process, fear is going to impact our decisions, right? Like for me, sometimes I'll be feeling a certain way and I'll even feel the tension within me. There's the part of me that wants to act in my usual way, which feels good and comfortable and I feel justified in it, right? And then there's this other feeling where it's like, you could just let go and do this. And then my other fearful side is like, no, like I feel like I need to justify why I won't do something. And in that exact moment, I know what's going on is that there's the opportunity to surrender, to let go of this, to see what happens when I make a different choice and stop letting fear and being scared of the unknown. Or, I mean, if the feeling that I'm holding on to is shit, it can't be worse. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be, but I'm not sure. A part of me feels like there's this loss of self when I go to take that step and do something outside of my norm or make a decision that would normally seem uncharacteristic of me because of who I've been for so long. So when we're going through this process of reconnecting with who we really are, getting beyond the stories that we have about who we are and the things that we have learned, and there are going to be these times where there's going to be this attachment, this fear, this uncertainty. And that's normally where people stop. Like, nope, that doesn't feel right. And then they justify, well, it doesn't feel right. Well, it doesn't feel right because it's not what your body's used to doing. It's not how it's used to responding. Your mind doesn't understand. It's just protecting you, and it believes that we've always done things this way. So why are you trying to shake things up now? Like, just go with the flow. And if you don't want to go with the flow, I'm going to put more and more tension and resistance and all this fear in you so that you choose the way you want to go. But it's understanding that our mind has adapted and learned these certain things, and it at the time felt that it was necessary to do these. There was times in our life where we needed to feel safer or more secure, or we didn't understand what was going on, so we built these stories or these protective blocks around us. And so understanding, like I said yesterday, that these are coming from a real place. They were developed in a time of need for us. So we can't just be like, screw you. You know, it's like, okay, I know why you're coming up for me. I know why I'm scared. But I also know that every time I make this choice and I use this as my justification, I always look back and have some sort of feeling like, no, I know I could have done better. Well, that's what it feels like for me. Like, I'll make a choice, and then later on, when I'm out of the moment, out of the energy, and I'm like, I was kind of an asshole. Like, I could have done better. And of course, I don't want to have this guilt, and, it is what it is. Like, I know that I made that choice coming from an old version of me that played out automatically. Because I felt the moment, felt the tension, and went with it instead of against it towards the surrender and the letting go. So fear is always going to impact us, but we have to understand, and this is something that I've been telling myself a lot, is I'm not in danger. I'm safe. There's nothing attacking me. The only thing attacking me are my thoughts, and then my thoughts are making me feel crazy. So the idea that we have these moments of uncertainty when it comes to, well, who am I without this? Without this fear, without this worry, without this identity, because it's literally a loss of self. We're feeling like we're losing ourselves in this process, and that tends to make us fearful, and we don't always understand what's really going on. So one thing I've learned for myself is that, I have to embrace the uncertainty and trust that every step away from a story that is no longer serving me or is causing me a lot of pain or lower vibration energies and emotions, it's going to be better on the other side. It's got to be. This has been going on for so long in this certain way that it doesn't feel right now. It's almost like as you go through this awareness, you start to become more aware of these things, you just can automatically sense what is, the path that your inner self is trying to guide you to, and the path that the ego is trying to guide you to. And the ego is always going to feel, in the beginning, the ego is going to feel easy. It's going to feel comfortable. The inner self is going to be guiding you towards a path that is opposite normally of what you normally do. And that's kind of the point. So when you're approaching this, understand that fear is going to come up. A loss of identity is going to come up. You're going to have all these things that are, the stories, the justifications, the excuses, all these things are going to come up for you in the moment. And the biggest part about it is there's this sense. So honor that there's something inside of you that developed this way of thinking or this habit or this behavior in a time of need. Tell yourself, it's okay, I understand, I am safe, I'm going to try this. I'm going to take this step and do something different. And most of the time you'll find that you end up fine on the other side, and even better than that, things just start to work out. Things just start to flow when you remove the blocks. So getting out of our own way sometimes. So that's what I got for you guys today. Fear will always cloud your judgment, because its only thing to do is to protect you. And if you're not in any physical harm, then you know that it's just, I don't want to say lying. I feel bad calling our mind a liar because it believes that it's true, but it's lying to you. It's making you believe something that is an illusion. So embrace that. Understand that you're not losing yourself, you're discovering yourself. And what you're probably actually losing is somebody else's thoughts, beliefs, and opinions that you've adopted as your own. So you're on a journey to you, not away from you, and it's going to feel a little hard in the beginning. But if you keep pushing through it and keep making the decisions, you'll start to develop that confidence, and your ego will start to be like, oh, I guess we are safe because this isn't coming up anymore. There's not a trigger, a response inside you that's saying, oh, shit, what do I do? This fear that comes up. So embrace the uncertainty. Know that on the other side, as you continue to do it, it will get more comfortable, and this fear won't come up. It'll be more of like oh, okay. You'll just know. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know that for me, this has been a really critical point in understanding things, because I didn't really know how many decisions I was making based on fear, and how much that fear has kind of held me back in certain things. And that I know that the benefits of releasing these things and moving beyond is super powerful. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, have a great day. Woo! Day 4.